My name is Roy Johnson, and I pledged the Reamer Club in the fall of 1958, 65 years ago. I started at Purdue in the fall of 1956, and I was an engineering student. That's what brought me to Purdue. And my bachelor's degree in '60 was in engineering sciences, which ultimately merged with aeronautical engineering to become aeronautics and astronautics now. My master's degree was in 1962 in aeronautical engineering. I was born and raised in the Chicago area, went to high school in Chicago, and came to Purdue in the fall of '56 and stayed. Well, we met on Monday nights, so that's a tradition that has not changed, in a meeting room, the second floor of the Memorial Union Building. There were probably about 30 actives at that time, and the pledge class met in an adjoining room prior to the lineup. We had 17 members in our pledge class, and the unique thing about the club at that time was that all the members and all the pledges had a different major activity on campus before they joined the club. One of the members in my class was a captain of the tennis team. We had the president of the Purdue Auto Club. We had 3 of us from the band program. We had a member of the athletic department serving as Purdue Pete. The club was an outreach capability to become acquainted with areas outside your local activities, and I found that to be very, very helpful, very enjoyable. There were 30 actives as far as I can determine, and one of the unique things was that one of them was a member of the Purdue Varsity Glee Club. So his contribution to the club was to keep us singing in good form, in pitch, proper melodies for the school fight songs and other songs that were part of the club repertoire. Well, initiation night was quite unusual. At that time, a number of the actives were dating members of sororities on campus. So to start the evening, the pledge class had to come up with a skit, humor, singing, things of that sort. And we went around to a number of different sorority houses on campus and did the skit in front of their actives, which was an unusual environment since we were all, of course, independents, but made it through okay. The follow-up, however, was rather grueling. All of us in the pledge class had to have a clearance from our physician to participate, and the club had braces, racks actually made of potato sacks over our shoulders, and we had logs in front and in back of us, and then we did an extended run out to Airport Road from the Union Building and then back to the area which is now Slater Center before that was finished, and we all just about collapsed prior to the formal initiation ceremony. And I'm sure they alerted the campus police as to what was happening so that we wouldn't all get arrested. I think the proudest moment for me when I was in the club as an active was when we finally got Boilermaker Special number 3. While I was pledging and while I had been an undergrad prior to pledging, number 2 was the one that was still running around campus and had the trailer which was pulled through the community, filled with pep band members for pregame pep rallies on Friday nights. So getting that new special, which was a radical departure in design from earlier models, was a big step for the club. The chair of that design campaign was a member of the pledge class and ultimately became the director of financial aid here at Purdue. It was bigger, more durable. Number two had long outlasted its viability to provide the services that the BMS needed. The Boilermaker Specials were not nearly as active, though, at that time as they have become now, with campus outreach and other activities. My favorite tradition is one brick higher, because I think that exemplifies what Purdue is all about. And in many ways, it exemplifies what the club stands for at this time, trying to improve every semester and expand their outreach to the community and their service to the university. I think in terms of impacting my life, being in the club exposed me to a wide variety of people in various activities on campus and made me comfortable interacting with people outside of my realm of expertise. And I think that led to my direct involvement with community service organizations like Kiwanis, the Purdue Retirees Association, and so on. It being in the club gave me confidence to reach out and assume responsibilities. I still, in terms of being in contact, I still try to keep in touch with some of the former members, although over a period of 65 years, you lose touch with an awful lot of people. But we have gone to a number of Reamer weddings. We've been very fortunate to be invited to those. We make it a habit of inviting the pledge classes into our home each semester for dessert so that we can meet them individually. And many of those contacts pay off in terms of long-term friendships, baby pictures, and so on. Well, during the past 65 years, I've had a variety of involvements with the club. Of course, first as an active member, later as an advisor for a number of years, and have continued to attend meetings during these 65 years, since we live in the community and are very anxious to mentor the students that we come into contact with. The students are our family here at Purdue, and the Reamers are such an outstanding group. One of the things that we really enjoyed for a number of years was prior to the Christmas holidays, when the club would go caroling one evening, and they always ended up at our place for singing and then refreshments afterward. Looking back on the past years, I go into my den at home, and there proudly displayed on the wall is the R board that I had in the fall of 1958. And looking back at the names and the signatures on that board bring back so many memories of fun times, support for the university, and whatnot. My life at Purdue has been one of involvement with students. For many years, I was in the office of the registrar, served as associate registrar, so I was responsible for many of the arrangements for commencements. I was the public orator for commencement for many, many years. and then, of course, served for 43 years as the voice of the All-American Marching Band. So coming into contact with students in the Reamer Club and the marching band and Kappa Psi of the band fraternity has been an important part of our lives for both my wife and myself. One of my fondest memories on behalf of the club is when the club made my wife an honorary member because of her hard work as Director of Dining Services at Purdue and her responsibility for designing and building all of the food courts that are now a major part of the residence hall system. In summarizing my observations, I think watching the new members of the Reamer Club come in from their pledge program and develop into leaders in the club and assume responsibilities, develop on the shoulders of their predecessors, and seeing the continued growth and experience in the club is a very rewarding thing for me, and one of the things that keeps me coming back to club meetings year after year after year. The dedication of the members is really outstanding, and it is something that I think is unique in student organizations on campus. I'm very delighted to be a Reamer alum and part of the Reamer family.